So here we are again. We're in this next module of the rebound strategies. And Dr. Ed Womack, tell them what this module contains. What's in this module?
So this module is on understanding breeds knowledge. And so along the journey back, there are going to be, again, as we extend beyond our comfort zone, we're going to pick up on some new techniques, some new strategies, some new people in our circle. And so as you go through the process of beginning to understand, hopefully a lot of the things that actually may have caused you to encounter the setback, but understanding you can't fix what you can't measure. Right. So being able to understand what has actually caused you to be in that situation may provide you with the means to come out of it. In the book, I referred to the Sankofa bird. And the Sankofa bird is representative of a bird that literally looks back to be able to evaluate what has taken place, to be able to move forward in a much more strategic, much more effective, less problematic way. And so as you go through the process of understanding and beginning to derive knowledge, I'm reminded of a book by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where he suggests that in order to, you have to seek first to be understood before you're trying to be understood.
Seek first to understand before you're
trying to be understood. And so that goes back to the premise of the listening that I intentionally do with my clients, with my colleagues, and even with my mentor. You have to be willing to extend yourself to the point where you know that at the end of grasping and understanding, you're going to be better off for it. What I derived, Ruben, when I was coming out of my fog, was I had to change my paradigm. I had to change my thinking. I thought it was everybody else who had the problem. I seriously believed that for a long time. I thought everybody else had the problem.
And isn't it true, though? A lot of times we just see from our own perspective. We only know what we know. We've been through what we've been through. And here's one thing that you said off camera that I thought was really brilliant, and I want to share with the audience if I could.
Absolutely.
He said that, when you look at your body, your sensory input, he said you receive 2 million bits of information at any given second. So right now, he told me this. He said, Ruben, you're sitting there. Yes. He said, now, when I tell you this, you're going to notice something that you didn't notice before. And I was like, well, what is that? And he said, right now, I want you to think about what it feels like, whatever you're sitting on. And I realized I could feel it. But what he said was you could feel it all along. The problem is it's so much information that some stuff your mind automatically just bleeps out. It just cancels it out so that you can focus over here. And what's happening is you're only picking up what your mind is allowing you to pick up. But some of the stuff you're blocking out. And so that's why we tend to be distorted and we think, well, what we see is reality. No, what we see is our reality. And so, you said that understanding breeds knowledge. You talked about that favorite undisputed bestseller of all time. It said, in all that getting, get an understanding. And why is that? Because then you get the knowledge of what to do next. You get the knowledge of what not to do. You get the knowledge of what the consequences are for doing certain things. And here's what I love that you also said. You don't have to always go through it yourself. You can learn from someone else. And
that was been one of the more powerful breakthroughs, both for myself and also like when we were at the summit, was knowing that first of all somebody's listening. And not only are they listening, they really do understand. And again, it's so true. People don't care how much you know until they know that you care.
They don't care.
But when you begin to realize and understand truly that there's other people out there that have been through what you're going through, that have been through what you might go through, and have been through what you're coming out of. When you understand that there's people available that are willing, able, qualified, got the scars.
And
the scabs, hopefully, because they're starting to heal. But they've been there, done that.
And when we talked about building the bicep, and we talked about doing curls, you said, hey, Ruben, you got to do curls. And what I said was, well, yeah, but I don't play basketball. And he said, But when you build the muscle, you can use it for anything.
Anything.
And what I love that you also talked about was the fact that sometimes people may not have been through exactly what you've been through, but the lesson applies to other things. It's just a muscle. It's a skill. They built it, and now you can not only apply it over here, but you can apply it over there too. So sometimes when you're reaching out to individuals, and that's why I like the coaching that you do, I may not have had the same setback that you have had. But the principles that you learned in that setback and to overcome it helps to overcome a myriad of things.
A myriad of things. And, you know, that's the beauty of being able to pay it forward.
Yes.
Because you're so spot on. When I started to develop the Men Rise Up movement,
yes,
what I found was I started having more female followers than males. And they're like, Doc, you really resonate. I'm really resonating with a lot of things. And at first, I didn't understand how powerful that very concept was and the universal usage that could be applied when one is really, truly making an effort to understand. And in order to truly maximize the knowledge that comes from understanding, there's some action required on our part.
Yes.
We have to decide what we're going to focus on.
Yes.
Because a lot of time you had mentioned distractions. Well, there's also some energy and some effort on our part.
Yes.
In order to really maximize the knowledge of understanding, you got to decide, are you a half full or half empty glass kind of person?
Yeah.
You know, and I was reminded of a situation where I was faced with some very perplexing and some very difficult challenges, even after I had made the decision to stop using drugs and alcohol and chasing women. I came to a placement where it was like, I could go left, or I could go right.
Yes.
And I had to realize, okay, well, are those things that I'm considering doing, are they really helping me move toward maximum understanding? Are they going to help me to get closer to my purpose? Are they going to help me to truly come back from this setback? And as I began to go through that process, I had to make some choices, Ruben. Because when you go through and you begin to understand what got you there, you're also going to need to realize what's going to help me maintain being out of it. What's going to help me maintain that recovery, that rebound? How am I going to score after I rebound?
Yes.
So understanding that, one, it's absolutely critical to expand your thinking, and sometimes that expansion of thinking to broaden the understanding, it takes, I'm reminded of a quote, and I believe, I hate this when I do this, I forgot the quote, who did the quote, they said, it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame.
Yeah.
And what that really means for those that are sitting out there that are taking notes is when you're going about life just hard at it, grinding, doing the things that you're tasked with doing.
Yes.
It's hard to see all the other peripheral things like Ruben shared with you when it said, hey, feel this. And it was a conscious reminder. But sometimes as you're just buzzing through life, those things aren't immediately relevant. But once you get to a point where you decide that you want to optimize and truly embrace understanding, it becomes conscious. It's a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, this is what I wanted to tell to the listeners because and the viewers, I think this is really brilliant in the strategies that you use. And a lot of times when we think about setbacks and things like that, and we talk about finding ourselves in a place or what caused us to be there, don't you agree that sometimes it may have been no fault of our own?
Oh,
I mean, like some of the stuff happened to us as kids. Some stuff happened to us by people who were supposed to protect us. Some stuff happened to us by people that we trusted. And so we're in a situation in life where it's no fault of our own.
Yeah.
But we still have to get an understanding. We still have to reinvent ourselves. We still have to use these same strategies to get our life back on track. And as you put it, score. Don't you agree?
Man, not only do I agree, I got the T-shirt. I mean, you pretty much nailed a piece of my early journey in Back from Broken, where an individual in my life that I really should have been able to look toward for guidance, for protection, found myself in a situation where I had been violated.
Yes.
in ways that I thought would never be revealed.
Right.
And what ended up happening is the suppression of that
Oh, yeah.
self-doubt, that guilt, that shame that I inflicted on myself almost took me out of here. I mentioned that I tried to attempt suicide, and that was a large part of it because I just didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel. And for those that are sitting out there, if you've got some traumatic situation that you've gone through that causes you to feel like it's your fault.
Right.
Like, a lot of times it really isn't.
It really isn't.
And
it really isn't.
You can't carry that baggage around with you without seeking some help. And be very clear. Everything ain't for everybody.
No. And you know, it's like being in a 747. You're flying through the air.
Mm-hmm.
The pilot invites you to the cockpit.
Yeah.
He sits down and says, "Okay, take over."
Right. I know, right?
What are you gonna do?
Right.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to mess up anything. You don't want to kill anybody. You don't know how this works.
Yeah.
And sometimes our life can be like that 747, where we don't want to take a step forward. We don't want to go sideways. We don't want to go backwards. And the key is that if the pilot told us, just reach back and pull up on that. If the pilot said, just flip that switch, we would be willing to do any of that. Why? Because we knew that he knew what he was talking about. He was trained. That's why sometimes when we find ourselves in those setbacks that you just talked about, we have to get with somebody who knows the steps to help us out of where we're at, to help us through the process, right?
Absolutely, because it can be challenging.
Yeah, it probably will be challenging.
It probably will be challenging. And to go up there by oneself, having not gone there before, it could be kind of scary.
Yeah, it could be kind of
scary. It was scary.
Yeah, but with the right help,
with the right
support, with the right team, you can rebound.
You can rebound. And not only rebound, you can score.
It's Dr. Ed Woolback, you guys. He's giving us his 7 strategies. What could they expect in the next session?
In the next session, we're gonna go in a little bit about some of the negating of negativity. How about that?
We're gonna negate the negativity. I love it. We'll see you in the next session.
If you've been sitting waiting for the answer, if you've been sitting waiting for something that you can get your teeth into and begin to execute on right now, Use What's Left is it. 21 days or less, and I guarantee you'll begin to see a difference in your life. So what you waiting on? Go ahead, text REBOUND to 555-888 and not only get your copy of Use What's Left, but also get bonus access, which is normally valued at $97. But because we want to make certain that you have everything you need to optimize your rebound, we're going to give you access to the Live Your Best Life video library as well. So go ahead, act today, and watch your rebound take place tomorrow. Peace and blessings until we connect with you again. And thank you so much for supporting and following Use What's Left.